Hi, hello ninth standard. Have a nice day. Have a good day. I hope you are doing well. Yes, no? Right. Today we are going to do chapter 24, that is unit 24, environmental science. I think after a few days gap we are meeting. We are continuing video number 31. We are going to do video number 31, unit 24, environmental science. It's a new topic today, right? Environmental science. What do we know? Environment is surrounding, is it not? So that surrounding, otherwise what we call habitat, and then their components of the environment, otherwise what we call as ecosystem with biotic and abiotic components, that we have learnt in lower classes. Previous years we have studied, is it not, in the topic ecology, is it not? So today we are going to do unit 24, environmental science, that is video number 31, and it is part 1 because it is a bit lengthy lesson. I am splitting into 2 or 3 video session. Okay, and in this chapter, now in this video session we are going to relate different aspects of environmental science. We are going to relate different aspects of environmental science and the description about biogeochemical cycles. And this environmental science, it is said that nature has the power to refresh and renew. It was said by Helen Keller. Nature has the power to refresh and renew. It's given in our textbook also. Okay. Elements of nature continuously undergo changes and transformations. Elements of nature continuously undergo changes and transformations. Environmental protection provides holistic knowledge about natural processes, effects of human intervention, and solution to overcome environmental problems. Right? Now these environmental issues are pollution, global warming, ozone depletion, acid rain, deforestation, landslide, drought, and desertification. What are all the issues? Pollution, global warming, ozone depletion, acid rain, deforestation, landslide, and drought. Right? And natural resources are recycled over and over and again on earth for continued availability. As you have learnt as natural resources, renewable and non-renewable. Yeah. I learned the renewable resources are recycled over and over again. At the same time, it also reminds us about the responsibility to reduce and restrain our activities that will affect the natural processes. I hope you understand. So this is introduction for environmental science. Are you clear? Can you follow? This is unit 24, environmental science, video number 31. Right? Living organisms adjust themselves according to their habitat and changes in the ecosystem. What is ecosystem? Continuous a series of chain as producers and consumers, and those consumers are primary, secondary, and tertiary. All living organisms develop certain morphological, anatomical, physiological, and reproductive adaptations. What do you know by that? Morphological na external characters, physiological functional changes, anatomical internal characters, right? And these help them to survive better. So in this lesson we are going to learn about biogeochemical cycle and adaptations by plants and animals. Other than that, we are going to do water conservation and recycling of water. I hope you follow this. So first it is biogeochemical cycle. What do we know? Biosphere, it is the part of the earth where life exists. All resources of biosphere can be grouped into two major categories as biotic and abiotic components. Biotic components are living things as plants, animals and microorganisms. Biotic components are plants, animals and microorganisms. Whereas abiotic components, there are components as light, temperature, otherwise we say air, water, weather, light, temperature, wind, soil, water, they are forming abiotic components, right? So biotic or living factors include plants, animals and all other living organisms, and abiotic are non-living factors which include all factors like temperature, pressure, water, soil, air and sunlight, which affect the ability of organisms to survive and reproduce. What are all abiotic? They are non-living factors which include temperature, pressure, water, soil, air and sunlight. I hope you can follow this. There is a constant interaction between biotic and abiotic components in the biosphere. There is a constant interaction between biotic and abiotic components in the biosphere, and that makes the biosphere a dynamic and stable system. Cyclic flow of nutrients between non-living and living factors of the environment are termed as biogeochemical cycle. I repeat, cyclic flow of nutrients between non-living and living factors of the environment, they are termed as biogeochemical cycle. Under that we are going to learn water cycle, nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle and oxygen cycle. So water cycle, what does it mean? Water cycle or hydrological cycle is the continuous movement of water on earth. Water cycle or hydrological cycle is the continuous movement on earth. In this process, water moves from one reservoir to another by the process of these. I repeat, in water cycle process, water moves from one reservoir to another by the process such as evaporation, sublimation, transpiration, condensation, precipitation, runoff, infiltration and percolation. So these are the process for cycling water. So this is the figure. Video monitor when you learn this video session, video screen in the figure as water cycle. I hope you understand. I'm a booklet the color picture that you can follow. Video the color picture that you just follow. I hope you understand. Now first one, evaporation. What does it mean? Evaporation. Chemistry படிச்சிருக்கீங்க, இதெல்லாமே chemistryல நீங்க படிச்சிருக்கீங்க இல்லையா? Evaporation is a type of vaporization where liquid is converted into gas before reaching its boiling point. I repeat, evaporation is a type of vaporization where liquid is converted to gas before reaching its boiling point. நம்ம தண்ணி கொதிக்கிறது 100 டிகிரியில் த பாயிலிங் பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் வாட்டர், அது வரத்துக்கு முன்னாடியே இந்த தண்ணி கொதிக்கிறது ஆவியாக வருது இல்லையா, அதுதான் evaporation. So evaporation is a type of vaporization where liquid is converted to gas before reaching its boiling point. Water evaporates from the surface of the earth, and water bodies such as ocean, sea, lake, ponds and rivers. What are the water bodies we know? Ocean, sea, lake, river and ponds. Yeah. So these water bodies, when they evaporate, the sunlight during especially during hot summer, the water will evaporate. சரியா? நான் நம்ம கண்ணுக்கு தெரியாது, but it evaporates. I hope you understand. Then second one is sublimation. Second one, sublimation is the conversion of solid to gas without passing through intermediate liquid phase. நீங்கள் இது படிச்சிருக்கீங்க கெமிஸ்ட்ரியில், சப்ளிமேஷன் ப்ராக்டிகல்ஸுக்கு கூட நீங்கள் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க. அது அப்படியே ஆவியாகி லிக்விட் ஆகாமல் கண்டென்ஸ் ஆகிடும். That process sublimation, right? Sublimation is conversion of solid to gas without passing through the intermediate liquid phase. Ice sheets and ice cap from north and south poles and ice caps on mountains get converted into water vapor directly without converting into liquid. I repeat, ice sheets and ice cap. Ice sheets and ice cap from north and south pole and ice caps on mountains get converted into water vapor directly without converting into liquid. I hope understand this. இந்த பிக்சரில் பாரு, இது வந்து evaporation. அப்புறம் sublimation. இது வந்து sublimation. Very clear? நம்ம இப்போ இதில் வந்து ஒரு பிளாக் அண்ட் ஒயிட்டாக தெரியுது, ஆனால் நம்ம வீடியோ ஸ்க்ரீனில் கலர் பிக்சர் வந்து வரும், ஃபாலோ பண்ணுங்க. ஸோ sublimation is the conversion of solid to gas without passing through the intermediate liquid phase. Ice sheets and ice cap from north and south pole and ice cap on mountain get converted into water vapor directly without converting into liquid. சரியா? Next one, transpiration. It is the process taking place in plants, right? In plant, the evaporation of excess water. Excess water na, when we water the plant, suppose you are watering a plant, a bucket full of water, you are watering the plant, and this full of the bucket full of water will not be utilized by the plants for photosynthesis. Water is required for the process alone will be taken. So that excess water is evaporated in the form of water vapor through the leaves, and that main structure, it is through the stomata. Stomata are present on the surface of the leaf. So transpiration is the process by which plants release water vapor into the atmosphere through stomata in the leaves and stems. Stems also may have stomata on their surface, right? Next one, it is condensation. Condensation is changing of gas into liquid phase and is the reverse of vaporization. This is condensation. The water body, water evaporate ஆகி clouds form வந்து condensation. சரியா? ஸோ அது வந்து மறுபடியும் தண்ணியாக கீழே வரும். ஓகே, So condensation is changing of gas into liquid phase, gas phase into liquid phase, and is the reverse of vaporization. And at higher altitude, the temperature is low. The water vapor present there condenses to form very tiny particles of water droplets. These particles come close together to form clouds and fog. This is condensation. So in our textbook, in our textbook, this is water body. This is water body. Then this is sun. Yeah. So here is evaporation. This is evaporation. And then we find some clouds. This is condensation. This is some clouds, condensation. And then this is plant. This is plant. And that will transpire. This is transpiration. So this is transpiration. Okay. So in the transpiration, in the condensation, right? And then in the transpiration, then it is coming out as rain. That is the precipitation. This is precipitation. I hope you understand this. A picture clear. This is water cycle of gas phase into liquid phase, and is the reverse of evaporation, and is the reverse of vaporization. At higher altitude, the temperature is low. The water vapor present that condenses to form very tiny particles of water droplets. These particles come close together to form cloud and fog. I hope you follow. So, in stage evaporation, sublimation, transpiration, and condensation. Next, precipitation. Due to change in wind or temperature, clouds combine to make bigger droplets and pour down as rain, and the precipitation. I repeat, due to change in wind or temperature, clouds combine to make bigger droplets, and the clouds, and pour down as precipitation, that is rain. Then precipitation includes drizzle, rain, snow, and hail. Drizzle and the charal, mala charal thooradhu solluvalla, charal. அப்புறம் நல்ல மழை பெய்யுது வந்து ரெயின். சில வந்து ஸ்னோஃபாலும் இருக்கும், அதுவும் ரெயின் தான். ஹெயிலும் இந்த ஆலங்கட்டி மழையை சொல்லுவல அந்த மாதிரி அதுவும் ப்ரெசிபிடேஷன். கொஞ்சம் யூஸ்வலாக கேட்குற கொஷின் உனக்கு மீனிங் தெரியும்னா ரெயின் தான் ப்ரெசிபிடேஷன். சரியா? ஸோ டியூ டு சேஞ்ச் இன் wind or temperature, clouds combine to make bigger droplets and pour down as precipitation. Precipitation includes drizzle, rain, snow, and hail. Next is the runoff. Runoff, as water vapor pours down. As water pours down, it runs on the surface of the earth. This runoff water combines to form channel, rivers, lake, and ends up into sea and ocean. So, மழை கொட்டியாச்சு, மழை நல்லா பெஞ்சாச்சு. What happens to that rain water? அது வந்து இந்த வாட்டர் இந்த என்ன சொல்கிறது சேனலில் போடல, இந்த கெனாலில் போகும், ரோட்டில் வந்து நம்ம ரெயின் வாட்டர் ஹார்வெஸ்டிங் வச்சுருக்கோம்ல, அங்கே இறங்கி அந்த பைப் லைனோடு சேர்ந்து இட் இன்க்ரீசஸ் த அண்டர்கிரவுண்ட் வாட்டர். and the water level போடுறது, that is runoff. Okay, the next is infiltration. Infiltration, some of the precipitated water flows through the soil and porous infiltration, some of the precipitated water moves deep into the soil, then it moves down the soil and increases the groundwater level. சிலர் நல்ல கார்டன் சாயில் எல்லாம் தண்ணி மழை பெஞ்சினா நல்ல சொலசொலான இருக்கும் போல தண்ணி நல்லா இறங்கிடும் பூமிக்குள்ள இறங்கி it increases underground water, increases the level of underground water, that is infiltration. Okay, the next one, percolation. Some of the precipitated water flows through the soil and porous or fractured rock. நீ இந்த ஹில் ஸ்டேஷன்லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த பாறையிலலாம் நல்ல தண்ணியாக இருக்கும், அந்த பாறைக்கு இடுக்கில் நிறைய கிராக்கு சொல்லுவோம்ல, இடுக்கு இருக்குமே, அதுக்குள்ளெல்லாம் இந்த தண்ணி போய்க்கிறது, அதுதான் பர்கலேஷன். whereas in பெரிய ஏக்கர்ஸ் ஆஃப் லேண்டில் பேடி ஃபீல்டோ வேறு ஏதாவது க்ராப் இருந்தால் அதுக்குள்ளேயும் தண்ணி தங்கிக்கும், தட் இஸ் பர்கலேஷன். I hope you are following. So percolation, some of the precipitated water na rain water flows through the soil and porous or fractured rock. So infiltration and percolation are two related but different process describing the movement of water through the soil. என்ன பாப்பே, infiltration na நல்ல சாயிலுக்குள்ள it goes deep into that, whereas percolation na it is going in between the cracks found on the soil லையோ இல்லைன்னா மவுண்டனஸ் ரீஜன்லையோ இல்லைன்னா ஹில் ஸ்டேஷனில் குட்டி குட்டி பாறையெல்லாம் பார்ப்போம்ல, அதுக்கு இடையில போகிறது percolation of the water. சரி, so these are the process where water is cycled back as evaporation, sublimation, transpiration, condensation, precipitation, runoff, infiltration and percolation. எல்லாம் ஷன்லாம் முடியும் பாரு. evaporation, sublimation, transpiration, condensation, precipitation, runoff, infiltration and percolation. Are you clear? This is about water cycle. In this, all these process can be asked as 2-mark question, or as a whole brief answer questions can be asked. Right? The next one, human impacts on water cycle. Human impacts on water cycle as major human activities affecting the water cycle on land or urbanization, dumping of plastic waste on land and into water, polluting water bodies and deforestation. Human impacts on water cycle, என்ன சொல்றது, major human activities affecting the water cycle on land or urbanization, dumping of plastic waste on land and into water, polluting water bodies and deforestation. This is human impact on water cycle. So this is for water cycle. The next is nitrogen cycle. Here one activity is given, you can create your own water cycle. Next we are doing nitrogen cycle. Okay, as we have done water cycle, like that nitrogen is also cycled back. So then this nitrogen cycle is important. Nitrogen is the important nutrient needed for the survival of all living organisms. Nitrogen is the important nutrient and needed for the survival of all living organisms. It is an essential components of proteins, and that protein with the DNA and chlorophyll. Nitrogen is an essential components for proteins, DNA and chlorophyll. Atmosphere is a rich source of nitrogen that contains about 78%. நம்ம வந்து ஏர் சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, ஏர் கண்டெய்ன்ஸ் கேஸஸ்னா அது 78% வந்து நைட்ரஜன். Plants and animals cannot utilize atmospheric nitrogen directly. They can use it only in the form of nitrites and nitrates or ammonia, amino acids and nitrates. So now this nitrogen, as it cannot be utilized directly from the atmosphere, that process of taking nitrogen and then its conversion, then its utility by the plant, that is nitrogen cycle. And that nitrogen cycle steps are nitrogen fixation, nitrogen assimilation, ammonification, nitrification and denitrification. I repeat, nitrogen fixation, assimilation, ammonification, nitrification and denitrification. And then in our textbook, this is the diagram given. அது உனக்கு வீடியோ ஸ்க்ரீனில் வரும், that you can notice. This is nitrogen cycle scheme. சரியா? So first, nitrogen fixation. As I said, nitrogen cannot be taken by the plants directly from the atmosphere. The process of taking nitrogen from the atmosphere, it is called nitrogen fixation. And that nitrogen fixation, it is done by two methods. One is lightning, another one is through nitrogen fixing bacteria. Other one is through nitrogen fixing bacteria. சரி, நம்ம இடி மின்னல் சொல்றோம்ல, இந்த இடி மின்னல் மின்றது some of the nitrogen, they are converted into nitrates and nitrogen compound, and then it is reaching the soil along with the rainwater. So during thunder and lightning and when it rains, the nitrogen compounds or nitrogen is converted into nitrogen compounds and then it is reaching the soil. That is lightning capturing the nitrogen compounds. Another one is through nitrogen fixing bacteria. Example, rhizobium, nitrogen fixing bacteria. Example, rhizobium and Azotobacter. These two are called nitrogen fixing bacteria. And they are showing symbiotic association. What does it mean? In the root nodules, otherwise they say this is a root system of a leguminous plant. Roots of leguminous plant. The leguminous plant is a pea variety, pulses variety. In the roots of leguminous plant, we find root nodules like this. இந்த மாதிரி முடிச்சா இருக்கும், அது பேரு nodules. And these nodules contain the nitrogen fixing bacteria. So now this root nodules, bacterium takes the shelter from the leguminous root system, which in turn fixing nitrogen from the atmosphere for the leguminous plant. This mutual benefit, when both the partners are mutually benefited, that association, it is called symbiosis, symbiotic association, and the phenomenon is called symbiosis. So nitrogen fixation, it is mainly done through lightning and through nitrogen fixing bacteria. Nitrogen fixing bacteria example, nitrogen fixing bacteria example Rhizobium and Acetobacter. I hope you follow. In our book it says nitrogen fixation is the conversion of atmospheric nitrogen, which is in inert form, to reactive compound available to living organisms. This conversion is done by large number of bacteria and blue-green algae, that is cyanobacteria. Here, leguminous plants like pea and beans, pulses variety. Pea and beans have symbiotic relationship with nitrogen fixing bacteria Rhizobium. It occurs in root nodules of leguminous plant and fixes nitrogenous compounds. The spelling for leguminous plant, leguminous spelling for Rhizobium and Acetobacter, spelling for Rhizobium and Acetobacter. Got it? So this is nitrogen fixation. Second, nitrogen assimilation. Actually இது கடைசியில் வரணும், இருந்தாலும் பார்த்துக்கோ. Plants absorb nitrate ions and use them for making organic matter like proteins and nucleic acids. Herbivorous animals convert plant proteins into animal proteins. Carnivorous animals synthesize proteins from their food. Actually, this step கடைசியில் இருக்கணும். I repeat, nitrogen assimilation. Plants absorb nitrate ions and use them for making organic matter like proteins and nucleic acid. Herbivorous animals convert plant proteins into animal proteins. And carnivorous animals synthesize proteins from their food. So this is nitrogen assimilation. Nitrogen assimilation nitrogen fix பண்ணி அந்த nitrogen ரெடி ஆகிட்டு அதை உடம்பை எடுத்துக்கணும் இல்லையா, அதுதான் assimilation. The next step is ammonification. என்ன சொல்றது ammonification? யோசிச்சு பாரு கொஞ்சம். The process of decomposition of nitrogenous waste by putrefying bacteria and fungi into ammonium compound is called ammonification. The process of decomposition of nitrogenous waste by putrefying bacteria and fungi into ammonium compound is called ammonification. Animal proteins are excreted in the form of urea, uric acid or ammonia. The putrefying bacteria and fungi decompose these animal proteins, dead animals and plants into ammonium compounds. In the picture first atmospheric nitrogen. First atmospheric nitrogen அது plants fix பண்ணுறது. சரி, அதிலிருந்து it is taken by இந்த assimilation சொல்கிறோம்ல herbivores. இந்த plant herbivores எடுக்கிறது. ஸோ அப்புறம் இது nitrogen fixing bacteria இந்த legume nodule இதில் எடுக்கிறது. That is eaten by herbivore and then from there it is ammonification. இது nitrogen fixing soil bacteria. அப்புறம் it is converted into ammonium compounds. அதான் ammonification. I hope you understand. Then it is nitrification. where it is converted into nitrates and nitrates. First ammonification ku paathom enna process of decomposition of nitrogenous waste by putrefying bacteria and fungi into ammonium compounds is called ammonification. Animal proteins are excreted in the form of urea, uric acid and ammonia. And this putrefying bacteria and fungi decompose these animal protein, dead animal and plants into ammonium compounds. The next one is nitrification. Nitrification, the ammonium compound formed by ammonium compounds formed by ammonification process are oxidized to soluble nitrates. This process of nitrate formation is called nitrification. Otherwise, simpler ammonium compounds are converted into nitrates and nitrates. The bacteria responsible for nitrification are called nitrifying bacteria. Example, nitrogen fixation ku vandu Acetobacter soil irukku, Rhizobium root nodule irukku, then blue green algae Nastar. Whereas ammonification is done by fungi and putrefaction bacteria, putrefying bacteria. Nitrification is done by the bacteria Nitrosomonas and Nitrobacter. Nitrification is done by Nitrosomonas and Nitrobacter. And the next stage is denitrification, where free living soil bacteria such as Pseudomonas species reduce the nitrate ions of the soil into gaseous nitrogen which enters the atmosphere. So this is denitrification, right? Then the impacts on nitrogen cycle nu solradhu, burning fossil fuel, application of nitrogen based fertilizers and other activities can increase the amount of biologically available nitrogen in an ecosystem. Nitrogen applied to agricultural field enters rivers and marine system. It alters the biodiversity, changes food web structure and destroys the general habitat. Okay, so in the human impact of nitrogen cycle, water cycle unaku therinjirukkanam, right? So these are the steps for nitrogen cycle as nitrogen fixation, ammonification, nitrification and denitrification. அப்புறம் தான் இந்த assimilation வரணும். But you will learn as it is given in the textbook, right? And then நம்ம bookல examples of this microbes which are helpful in involved in nitrogen cycle. We don't need short answers க்கு படிச்சுக்கணும். சரியா? I hope you are able to follow this, right? So this nitrogen cycle scheme given in the textbook, QB லையும் வரும், உனக்கு வீடியோலையும் வரும். With that you will further understand the lesson. We will continue in the next session, remaining part of the lesson. Thank you.